Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well with sound doctrine, and peace and blessings to the elect. Now, this is kind of an impromptu, kind of inspired to do this lesson from a post I seen on the Instagram, from my brother. He's basically, his page got terminated. And I was like, you see how they heavy on these pages, because what we're doing is really disrupting their plans, because you have regular people who are seeing this, and even though to a certain degree they may not like everything we're saying, they may not agree with everything, they have to admit that, you know what, these guys actually on point with some of the stuff they're saying, at least, because everything that they've been saying has been true. But here it is, if what they're saying is, it doesn't make sense for what they're saying to be lies, because one, they've been saying it and it's been happening, it's been coming to fruition. Two, if what they were saying wasn't true, then why would it be so important that these devils would be constantly on their pages, taking down videos, strikes, and doing all kinds of things? Because we're living in a world, like it says in Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. So this world, it glorifies wickedness, and when we're doing righteousness, and when we uphold righteousness, like when we're doing righteousness, things that are righteous, teaching and basically telling the sheep to wake up, tell them not to have a drink with Vanessa, tell them to not have any shots with Vicky, because if they fall prey to them, then they're gonna fall prey to Big Brother Marcus. Because Marcus, when he, the two girls were nice, but when Big Brother Marcus comes, he's gonna come with that force. He's gonna come in like a sledgehammer, man, and it's not gonna be nice. So although that's not the MOB that they've taken, we're trying to get them to build their faith, because we don't know who we're speaking to. When we teach our people, we say, oh, you know what, we hope they repent, because we can't be proud and arrogant, because we understand that we didn't wake up and miraculously know this knowledge. No, we heard great men teach, and we repented, and we started making notes, and we started learning. Some brothers advance faster than others. Some brothers may have advanced slower than others. But at the end of the day, we're all in this race together. But anyway, I'm gonna start off with John 15:18. If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. And this is Yahushua talking, because it's written in red. And we in the revival of the Roman Empire, so to speak. So what did they do to Yahushua back then? They, even our people. I'm speaking about our people. They had him crucified, man, and he was without blame. Although that's something that had to happen, to ultimately, as a sacrifice for the iniquities of Israel, starting with the elect. But you can see that, like, the hate and what's that word, it's like, trying to think of a word, the hate, I'm gonna go with malice. The hate and malice that people had towards the Lord. And what was he doing? He was telling them to stop committing their wickedness. He was giving them a chance to repent. He gave people, didn't believe him, he healed people. They had people, there's an account with a man that was born blind. Hold on, let me see if I can get it. I believe it's in Matthews, and I'm gonna come back here. Salakia. I I'm just gonna go through. This is where this, I believe it was Simon Peter that said, was it his mother that sinned? Was it his mother or father that sinned? It was him or his parents, I believe. Oh, yeah, here it is. Hold on. Salaki, bear with me. And Yahushua, this is John 9 and 1. And Yahushua passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. So they have people that have a problem with this reincarnation, and the point I always bring up. Okay, the Most High is all powerful and he's all knowing. So why was this man born blind? And they like to go around. They like to go because it's a form of judgment, because it's something that's limited. It's something that's gonna limit him, or limiting him in his life. He has a handicap, so to speak. Although he's not handicapped, he's blind. But I'm just making a point. And the disciples asked him, saying, Master, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? But at that time they understood that spirits came back the third and fourth generation. That's why they asked that question. You know, and that wouldn't even make any sense. That he said, oh, they're asking him, oh, he was born and then blind. He was born and then, something happened after his birth. That's how it's blind. That it doesn't. It's not written like that. It doesn't say it. It doesn't say that. Because, and ultimately, that act, of him being blind was, so he could get healed at that point. And Yahweh, let me just jump straight to it. And Yahweh answered, neither have this man sinned nor his parents, but that the works of the Most High shall be manifest in him. So he was going around showing miracles. You know, he was in the temples. You can imagine. Well, he was up in the temples with very very learned men. You know, in the law, and he was just stumping them, so to speak. Stumping them with questions, because you can imagine. Let me just say, like, Salakia, stumble on my words a little bit. So, just as an example, okay, so if you and you say this is this, then how so? How so is this? I'm. It's just generic. I'm not I'm not making it be specific. Just as a point. So, you already know Yahushua. Of course, he was. You gotta remember that King Solomon in the reincarnation as well. And at that point, when he came perfect. And even when the scribes, you know, when he was being questioned, Sadducees and that lawyer, when they were questioning him, he cut him up. They didn't like it, you were like, Master, we know that you're true. But ultimately, they just wanted to see if they could confound him, because they're like, they didn't really like what he was saying, because he gave the truth and he wasn't sugarcoating it. That's like it. Let me go back. If okay, so like, this is John 15 and 19. If you were of the world would love his own. So if you know, these devils, they would have no issue with us being back in the world. You know, doing wickedness. They'd have no issue with us being in a gang. Oh, you know, they are blight to society. They're causing mayhem. They're causing issues. They're causing problems. They selling drugs. they have no issue. But when we're trying to build up, when we're teaching our people what they ought to be doing and how to conduct themselves, how they should be acting, what they should be eating, the prophecies giving them warning of, like, Esau. Esau basically, even with the Vanessa, Esau's concoctions, we give him warning with that. We tell them to keep watching and stay prayed up. But hold on. So what we're seeing is, quote unquote, now is misinformation, because people are taking it the wrong way and all this extra stuff, when really it's just because they're like, these guys, who are these guys? They're wondering where we get this knowledge from, because they're like, these people are close to destroyed. So how have they been able to acquire? How have they been able to acquire this knowledge? How have they been able to make something of themselves like this? How have they become so well versed in the scriptures? It's completely beyond us, because it's of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. If this was of man, it would have come to naught. Just like the Black Panther movement and all these different movements that they may have wanted to make a change, but they didn't have the foundation. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. And really you can tell that, because I remember I was at a family house one time. This is a quick little story. I was at my great aunt's house, and some cousins there, and my cousin was basically making some food. He's like, "Oh, you want some?" So I said, "Yeah, you want some? What are you making?" So he said, "Just making some oven chips," and he basically said, I can't remember if it was hot dogs or sausages. It was one of the two. Um, so I said, "They're not pork, are they?" So obviously I can't eat that. I can't remember if he said they were, but I don't think I had any anyway. And my cousins were like, "This because this is destroying the state of mind our people are in." My cousins were like, "Oh no, you're not black. How you not eating pork?" Saying all the things you can probably already expect. And I was like, "Listen, we're not supposed to eat pork. You know, it says right here. It says, even in the scriptures it says it." And I remember, I'll be telling family members all the time. It's like, and this a response that I commonly get is, they either don't want me to finish what I'm saying, or they go, "Everything is food," or we can just pray over it and it's good. But how can you pray over something that the Lord said is abominable? That's just a straight spit to the face. That's like me saying to you, "Oh, don't drive my car," and then you asking me, "Can I go in your can I go in your car?" You know, and I told you no, and then you go, "All right," and then you end up driving the car anyway. That's just a spit. What's the point? You didn't even listen to what I said. So what's the point asking me? Why would you ask me when I already told you no? It's just like these guys, they say, "I'm gonna bless the food. I'm gonna bless, the pork chops. I'm gonna bless, the shrimp, the chicken. Well, the chicken's not unclean, but I'm just, giving an example of, feast. I'm gonna bless the crab, you know." But how can the Lord told us not to eat them. Why are you blessing abominable food? And it's just like, I was at, even at uncle's house, and he was like, "If you don't eat pork, a hot God you worship." But I'm like, the most High, he told it, in my head, I'm like, we're not supposed to eat pork, because even before I came to this truth, even from when I was a child, I was like, there's something wrong with this. I couldn't put my finger on it. At first, I was like, there's worms. There's worms in this. We're not supposed to eat this, and of course there will be. But I was like, that was my main reason. Oh, I just don't like it. Every time as far as I was knowledgeable, as soon as I had sense, I just didn't want to eat it. It's just like it didn't really sit right with me to eat. I was, of course, I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Of course, there were abominable foods like shrimps that I loved, but I was making a start with the pork already because I know there's something in my spirit that was just like it just didn't sit right. But even just like as far as I said that, when you tell these people this, because you gotta take into account, when when your channel gets a strike, the like the likelihood is that it most likely got reported as well, because if I'm not mistaken, although the algorithms do catch certain things, um it could there's a chance I could be mistaken, but there's a chance you could miss it as well. But if someone reports a video because they offended or they hurt, that just gives YouTube a reason to go more in depth in the analysis of of this video that they might have missed. And this is Galatians 4:16. Am I therefore your enemy because I tell you the truth? So, you may be getting all these strikes. You may be out there prophesying onto the wind like you're supposed to. You may be, doing a video and you get nothing but hate, backlash, and you may be feeling a certain type of way. But guess what? You're doing the right thing, because even the prophets are old. The prophets are old. They face major adversity, man. You had people wanted to people wanted them dead, just like they want us now, because they're like these guys, they talk nothing but destruction coming to a place that we live, a place that I want my future children and my future grandchildren to live. I want everybody to come together and be one, all this stuff. But the Lord said that, okay, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, and this is gonna happen. Despite how you feel about it, it's not gonna change the Lord's plans. The Lord already set in stones. Our job is to warn the people, and in hopes to wake up, some of the elect that may be still out there. So you can't be feeling, don't get weak in the spirit, based on maybe a majority, because it's the elect who are the few who we're worried about, because we understand backlash that we're gonna get, because you know I was talking, even this guy, I don't know if he's a Jake or what, um but he's into Islam. He was like, yo, bro, you're always talking sense. And I was like, of course. When as soon as I found this truth, it's like I found where I was supposed to be. I found what I was supposed to be doing. I found my role. And that's how it is. Just like when you come to this truth, it's like I don't know exactly know how to put it into words, but it's just like, it doesn't feel like something new. It just feels like something that's that you just something that you kind of, I don't know if relearning is the right word, or uh I can't remember I don't even know the word, but it just, it doesn't feel like, see, it doesn't feel like something new, but it just feels like it's what you were supposed to do. You feel like, you're supposed to be doing this all along. Like when you come to this truth and you learn about all these great men that you descend from, like King David, you know, the Lacedaemonians, because the spies up there, in the history as well. That Hannibal, Hannibal being a Jake, man. I broke down, I remember last year I was going into certain history with Hannibal, and I tell you, I quiz people on that. I feel like not one person read that, because I actually did some typing at the time, because I got like it was a picture and I didn't make a video of it, so I was just typing, really pretty much typing the information, and I was bringing out precepts, kind of linking it up. I was like, this should be edifying. I was like, come to it, I didn't really get um, anyone, what do you call it? Anyone really reading or looking at it. Of course, you get a few people, interested in it, but they don't really, they don't really know, they don't really know what's, what, like, they don't have a full understanding of it, and it's bad that they don't really want to ask questions. Last precept closing out with, here is this is a nice one to close out on, because even YouTube, they were striking, my channel, even left and right when I was bringing out information. I in general, to be honest, I remember I did a part one and a part two of a video. They struck part two, but not part one. I was like, wait, part one had more of the information of the article in, but part two just had more precepts. Like, I was like, yo, it don't really make sense. Why do you cut this but not cut the first part? I was just like, they hurt, because we're disrupting their plans. We are thorn in their side, and we're gonna continue to be a thorn in their side. It's like they really want to put a muzzle over us, so to speak. But you can't muzzle us, because the Lord has us to here to do a job. And no matter no matter what you want to do, what you think you can do, or what even what you're gonna do, it's not gonna stop prophecy, man. And this is Matthew 5:10. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So whether you be, no matter what you be going through when you're teaching, or even when you're not teaching, because of what you believe, man, because you are living righteously, you gotta take into account the persecution that the men of the Lord face, even when after the Lord was on the scene, even the persecution that the Lord himself faced. So the servant is not greater than the master, as the scripture says. So if the Lord went through persecution himself, then we're gonna have to endure hardship, man. But as we're gonna have to roll with the punches, we're gonna have to take on the shoulder. Take on the chin, so to speak. But let me start again. Matthew 5:10. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye which men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so they persecuted the prophets which were before you. And even in Jeremiah, it tells you that the prophets of old prophesied against great countries, kingdoms, and nations, and just like we prophesy today against the same great kingdoms, countries and nations. Prophesy that America is Babylon the Great and it's gonna be destroyed in 1 hour, and they don't like that, because that's one of the gold standard. That's where people wanna move to when they older. That's where they wanna go to, vibe, so to speak. Speaking as a brother from the UK, I will be hearing a lot. Because people, fair enough, people go to Dubai or whatnot, man, but that's like, they don't plan on living there. People, they would much rather go to America to live, because they're like, yo, NYC for me. And I find it funny how I don't know if it's just me, but I always hear New York Central. But anyway, I'll just close it out there. I want to give our praises and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Bashim Rakakadash. I pray that this lesson was edifying, and until next time, Shalom.